So I wanted to kind of have a simple message of, abolish ICE, which means
What's going on, guys? It's your channel TFD coming back with another banger. And today, we've got to talk about something that's got the whole basketball world in a chokehold. Because it looks like Breanna Stewart didn't just step into controversy, she cannonballed straight into it. And in the process, she might have done serious damage not only to Unrivaled, but to the WNBA fan base as a whole. Now listen, Breanna Stewart has always been outspoken. She's never been afraid to use her platform, and that's nothing new. But this time, it's different. This is one of those issues that cuts the country right down the middle. And me personally, I love sports too much to see it get dragged into political wars. That's why I usually stay far away from this ICE topic. Not because I don't care, but because once politics hits sports, everything gets messy. And that's exactly what happened. So here's the situation. We've seen NBA coaches like Steve Kerr and Doc Rivers already wade into this. Now, Breanna Stewart does the same thing. She steps up on a podium holding a sign that says, "Abolish ICE," and instantly the internet explodes. Now, what's going on up in Minnesota right now? It's tragic. I'm not denying that. There are real people involved, real fear, real pain. But the question is, should that spill over into a basketball league that's already fighting for its life in terms of viewership and money? In my opinion, no. Absolutely not. Because right now, the WNBA players are in the middle of something huge. They're trying to lock in a new CBA. They're trying to get paid. They're trying to build momentum off the biggest wave of attention the league has ever had, thanks largely to Caitlin Clark and the explosion of new fans. And now, Breanna Stewart goes and lights a match in the middle of all that. Let's be real. The country is divided. Politically, culturally, socially, you name it. A lot of the new fans that came into women's basketball through Caitlin Clark didn't come for activism. They didn't come for debates about ICE or government policy. They came for hoops. They came for competition. They came for highlights, rivalries, trash talk, and buckets. And whether people like it or not, a large chunk of those new fans lean one way politically. That's just how the spectrum landed. But Caitlin Clark didn't ask for those fans. She didn't recruit them, but they showed up. They bought jerseys, they turned on the TV, they boosted ratings. And now, Breanna Stewart just alienated them. That's the problem. When you're trying to grow a league, you don't push away the people who finally decided to give you a chance, especially when your league has struggled for decades to get consistent eyeballs. And speaking of eyeballs, let's talk about Unrivaled. The 3-on-3 league, co-founded by Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, was supposed to be the future. It was supposed to be innovative. It was supposed to grab the younger audience, dominate social media, and build hype. But the numbers? They're ugly. In the 18 to 49 advertising demographic, the most important group for networks and sponsors, Unrivaled recently pulled around 20,000 viewers for a game. Let that sink in. That's not growth. That's not momentum. That's not changing the game. That's borderline invisible. And now, Breanna Stewart just gave a whole new group of people a reason to tune out. Right now, Breanna Stewart has a lot of sports fans mad. Like, mad. And I get why. Social media is on fire. Minnesota is already a powder keg. And now, here come the radical left athletes of the WNBA jumping straight into the flames. I'm not saying players can't have opinions. I'm not saying they can't speak. But when you're leading a league that's fighting for survival, timing and responsibility matter, because you're not just representing yourself anymore. You're representing every player who's trying to get paid. You're representing every rookie trying to build a brand. You're representing every fan who just wants to watch basketball and escape the chaos of the world for 2 hours. And Breanna Stewart, she might have just put all of that at risk. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Did she go too far? Or is this just the cost of using your platform? Either way, the WNBA and Unrivaled are at a crossroads, and what happens next could change everything. Let's move over to X.
Okay. Here, Alexa Philippou posted this from ESPN writer.
said Unrivaled co-founder and WNBA MVP Breanna Stewart held up an Abolish ICE sign during player intros ahead of Mist's game this afternoon. What's wild to me is this. Breanna Stewart is the vice president of the Players Union. She literally helps negotiate the CBA, and she admitted the other day she doesn't really understand the economic side of it. So now I'm sitting here like, do I even trust this process? Because the players are trying to get paid, and the people leading the charge don't seem locked in on how money actually works. And on top of that, Stewart and Unrivaled are getting cooked online. There she is, holding an Abolish ICE sign, and boom, you've instantly alienated a massive chunk of potential fans. Have you ever seen a sport act like it doesn't want 60% of the country to tune in? That's insane. Fans are the ones who pay the bills. They buy tickets, watch games, and keep the league alive. Push them away, and the whole thing collapses. Well, many fans answered this loudly, swiftly, and to the point. I stand with child molesters, Breanna Stewart. And obviously, what Will Young is talking about here is the real victims, the people who've lost their lives and suffered through horrific crimes committed at the hands of illegal immigrants in this country. Here, said nobody cares what a left-wing lesbian from the least popular sport in the country thinks. More backbone than the entire NBA community combined. Okay. Here, more courage than the entirety of the Republican Party. Yeah, look, I told WNBA current situation just because involved in politics. Absolutely. Let's abolish ICE so the 20+ million invaders can take all our money and fraudulently elect the Democrats into permanent power. Goodbye, America. Damn, man. Here, said all day yesterday, I was kind of just disgusted. Everything that you see on Instagram and the news, we're so fueled by hate right now instead of love. Okay, well, this at the end of the video. Said, glad she's ours, New York City. We love you, Big Stu. Supportive fan. Okay. Here, said, so are we to assume that she's good with human trafficking and the importation of illicit drugs? Yeah, that's basically what she's backing right there. That's the message she's standing on. And honestly, I'm just waiting for Natasha Cloud and a few others to jump in next and say something just as reckless. How to make sure we don't watch. Make it political. Okay. Then here, said WNBA, I see that you care more about criminals than you do about victims. I don't see any of your players making signs for all the victims that were killed or raped by illegal aliens and criminals from other countries. I mean, these players. Unbelievable. Breanna Stewart supports pedos and rapists. Yeah. Said, stick to basketball, please, and sign the damn CBA deal. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Sign the damn CBA deal. Here, look, some post these girls' photos and said, and where was her outrage for these victims of illegal alien crime, or ESPN for that matter? So dark. ICE isn't the problem. The leaders of Minnesota are the problem. None of these leftists will ever admit it, though. None of this is happening anywhere else, including blue states, I already mentioned. Nobody gives a shit about the WNBA. Not sure Unrivaled WBB has enough fans left to be losing them for activism. Someone said, she is lost as fuck. Yeah, man, she is. LOL, abolish the police was so unpopular, it elected Trump again. Nice going, dummies. There's lots of reaction. Said, how about her next sign say, protect illegal child rapists? Do that one, you fucking idiot. These idiot athletes have zero idea about anything going on in the real world. Abolish the WNBA. Fixed it for you. Yeah, she pretty much just drove the final nail into Unrivaled's coffin. That thing is finished. I'm done with these reactions, man. Listen, Breanna Stewart, you don't bring that kind of energy into your league, man, especially when the topic is that sensitive. It's already a touchy issue. And for whatever reason, Breanna Stewart decided to drag it straight into the WNBA. And now everything just feels spooky. I'm keeping it real with you. I'm not gonna lie, we could have done just fine without her pulling out that sign and making national headlines. Now the whole world sees it, and she's up there smiling through it all, laughing, smirking. And yeah, that looked like a smirk to me. I just can't believe she did this, bro. I really can't. Wow. Damn, man. Just damn. And now look here. You've got a bunch of WNBA and Unrivaled players lining up right behind Breanna Stewart. Ajaya Wilson, Paige Bueckers, Angel Reese, and others all tapping in with support, throwing up the hashtag Abolish ICE like it's some kind of team slogan. And I'm sitting here like, man, what is going on with these athletes? This isn't about basketball anymore. This is about pushing political messages in a space where fans just want to watch the game. You've got stars, role models, faces of the league, all jumping into something that divides the country in half. Instead of uniting people through hoops, now you're splitting the audience down the middle. That's not growth. That's not smart. That's self-sabotage. I don't know, man. At the end of the day, this is America, and this is how the country is run. So I'm always going to respect the structure of it and the leadership that's in place, whether people agree with it or not. As a citizen, that's part of the deal. But here's the other part of the deal. When your job is basketball, your job is basketball. You're paid to hoop. You're paid to compete. You're paid to entertain. So keep the basketball on the basketball court and try not to drag every political issue in the world into the sport. And for whatever reason, Breanna Stewart thought it was a great idea to bring politics straight into the game. Now look where we're at. Now we're making videos like this. Now we've got situations like this. Now this is about to be huge headlines all over the country. So yeah, shout out to Breanna Stewart because you just threw the WNBA right back into the middle of another firestorm. And I gotta be honest with you, could women's basketball look any more unserious right now? It's honestly baffling. Just when the league finally had momentum, just when new fans were actually tuning in for the basketball, here we go again. People out here talking about abolish this and abolish that. Meanwhile, Unrivaled is basically abolishing itself. Let's be real. Whatever strings were barely holding that league together while it was circling the drain, those strings just snapped. Whatever tentacles were still keeping it from going straight down the toilet, gone, finished, over with. When I saw that sign, I already knew. I said, yeah, whatever was left of Unrivaled's credibility just broke. That league was already struggling for attention, already fighting for eyeballs, already trying to prove it even mattered. And now this just gave people another reason to turn the channel. And listen, I'm not a politics channel. I talk basketball. I break down games, players, storylines, and what's happening on the court. But when a player makes a move this reckless, this out of touch with the fan base, this disconnected from the reality of what the league needs right now, I'm going to call it out every single time. Because fans pay the bills. Fans buy the tickets. Fans watch the games. Fans keep the league alive. You can't sit there and act shocked when people stop watching if you keep pushing them away. People didn't tune in to women's basketball for political lectures. They tuned in for competition, rivalries, buckets, and drama on the court, not drama off the court. So yeah, I'm not talking politics, but I am talking basketball. And when basketball gets hijacked by stuff like this, it hurts the sport, it hurts the league, and it hurts every player who's just trying to get paid and build something real. That's how I see it. Tell me what you think in the comments. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now listen to what she said about this after the game.
Getting into the basketball, Stewart, you came out the intros with the message. Just when did you know you were going to do that? And Do you ever feel any kind of pressure to make statements with injustice like this, or does it kind of just come to you naturally now?
I mean, I think that, knowing what my values are and what I stand for, I think that really all day yesterday I was kind of just disgusted from everything that you see on Instagram and in the news. And, we're so fueled by hate right now and instead of love. So I wanted to kind of have a simple message of, abolish ICE, which means to uplift families and communities instead of, having policies to uplift families and communities instead of fueling fear and violence. I think that, when human lives are at stake, it's bigger than anything else. So to have that simple message before the game was important to me, and knowing that, everyone here is feeling that way, one way or another, and it was just a perfect time.